Hi, my name is Mike. I own Mike's Carburetor Parts. You can find parts for most carburetors at www.mikescarburetor.com. Today I'm working on a Carter ball and ball carburetor. This is a Carter 1 barrel, and I'm getting ready to reassemble it. I got everything cleaned up. I may go a little bit fast because I need to get this one done. Let's see. So the first thing I want to do is put this pump jet in here. Your fuel comes up, ends up right up here and goes through this little jet right here, and this is how it gets into the Venturi. So this is one thing you want to be sure is clean, and I suspect that a lot of people don't take this out. They're not sure what it is, probably. So and oftentimes they're frozen, and you know, I've had to replace the whole carburetor. Anyway, put it in there. You simply screw it back in. Okay. This has a little cap that goes on it, and I just took a hammer and chisel and knocked it out. Be careful not to damage it. They don't come in the kit generally. I should think about putting it in the kits, actually. But at any rate, the old one worked just fine. Just take a little JB weld and mix a little up here, just a tad bit. Use other epoxies as long as you're sure they're gas resistant. I found that not all are. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little epoxy around this thing so it has a good seal. There you go. Okay. Next thing I will do is put the main jet in. I put the new gasket on it already. Goes down at the bottom here. Snug it down. We have two check balls, and one goes down here at the bottom where the accelerator pump goes, and one goes as your pump check ball goes here. The big one goes here in this hole, and the smaller one goes in here. And the smaller one, you just drop down there and make sure it goes down at the, there you go, into the hole. And it's got this little clip that goes in there and holds it down. And these are kind of fun sometimes, but I got a little tool here, this little kind of a, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of, it'd be like a drift punch of some sort. It seems to work just great. I stick it in there and tap it a little. I think that got it. Doesn't take much. Let's see. Yep, that looks good. Okay. Oh, guess what? It wasn't in there. And I threw my check ball around. That's not it. We'll have to get another check ball. Okay, I got a new check ball. You want to be more careful than I am because you can't lose too many of them. You don't have that many in the kit. Fortunately, I have a drawer full of them. But all right, try this again. Of course, when I'm not doing a video, these things pop right in. Alright, got it this time. Make sure it rattles. Nice and clean in there. They get stuck in there over time, so I mean I have to pry a lot of them out. Okay. This is I think this is called a step-up jet. Okay, now, as I mentioned, we have two balls. The bigger ball goes here. This is your pump check ball. Goes in there, and then you got the plug. Now, these check balls do nothing but keep the fuel from running. Keep it just, can't talk. They keep the fuel running in just one direction. If you hit the accelerator pump and you don't have a check ball in there, it might just bleed right back and not go in where you want it to. Okay, so got that in there. You got your power piston. Don't forget there's a little rubber gasket that you'll have in your kit. It goes in this hole right here. These are missing half the time when I take these apart. Okay, I'm going to get a little silicone spray lubricant, which I also spray on the gaskets. Okay, so we need this. There it is. Okay. Don't forget the spring first. That's the return spring. Okay. Oops. So you got to get that rod, there you go, in the hole of the step up. Alright. You have to kind of do all this together. There we go. Now I got it. Okay. Okay. It's nice and loose. Alright, now we're going to put the accelerator pump together. And you got this kind of a cone-shaped spring. And, excuse me, small end goes down. Okay. a little slot down there. You push it all the way down. Well, first you got to have the cup on it. Excuse me. Let's see. Where's that? Here we go. Okay. Now we'll push this all the way down to the slot and turn it 90 degrees, and that'll keep it in there. Okay. Okay, and that's it for that. We'll stick it in here. See, these has a leather cup on it. Put a couple drops of oil on that before you put it in there. Put it inside, and it'll help swell it up. I just use a little silicone on it. It usually does the job. Okay, there we go. Okay. And everything nice and loose, and check it a couple times, check it over. Okay, now the float, I already tested it, and it goes in this way, tab up. Oops, gotta have a pin, and there it is. Put the pin in it, drop it down the slot. Okay, once it's in there, you can put the needle and seat in. Oops. Don't forget to put your needle in. And in the right direction. Sounds silly, but I don't pay attention, so I might liable put it in backwards. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's see what the measurement is. On this particular carburetor is 5/64. Yours might be a little bit different. Check your specs, but generally most of them are around 5/64. And the measure the distance from the top of the float bowl to the top of the float. And let's see, we got now when you bend this, just be sure you don't put any pressure on the needle. Okay, there we go. Pretty darn close. Okay, so there's your float. Now, don't forget the clip. These are not available. Sometimes I have a used one around, but so don't lose it. I suppose you could make one out of copper or a piece of brass. That's what this is, brass. And that holds the float down in place. Okay. Everything's still loose, nothing binding in here. And that's the float bowl. I'll stop the video for a moment and get situated here, and we'll work on the next step.